Right, that should have solved it. Yeah, now I'm getting feedback on OBS. That's very strange. Um, installed some new support. What's name? The software that makes the hardware do the thing that it needs to do to, you know, all that stuff. Um, driver. Thank you. Um, I installed new driver software for the microphone, and that presumably meant that OBS lost it. Um, so it now has it. So that was good that I did that spoken introduction, and if you can lip read, good. If you can't, eh. Um, anyway, what I was saying was today's prompt is brand missile. And I see what someone was saying on Discord about that being possible to take literally in different ways. And I've got this horrible mental image that I think I'm gonna have to go with. Because I'm not thinking of anything better. Um, right. Let's start with. Hello, Mitch. We're gonna have to start with. Weirdly, there is a delay on OBS picking up YouTube chat after YouTube picks it up. So I see every message come through twice because OBS now shows YouTube chat as well, which is handy. I'm just gonna close that because it's not as helpful as it could be. Let's start with. This kind of shape. So I think you can gather what's going on at this point in proceedings. I'm actually gonna have to pull up another. Yeah. Up. Yeah. So. Okay, that's too straight on. This will make sense eventually. No, that parallax is wrong. So, you get the gist of what I'm roughing in here. Hopefully. Yeah. Nope, that shape's wrong. Occasionally, the most powerful thing you can do in drawing is tip your head on its side. So remember, when in doubt, give your head a wobble. I need to turn the opacity of that eraser up to make it useful, really. This is... Why are stupid ideas not easier than... Right. Now then... Okay. Stop doing that, for one thing. No, that's a completely wrong angle. What a waste of time that was. And that eraser was not the eraser for the job. Let's just watch it all undo itself. So, what I actually need to do is come in like that. I have a worrying feeling that you'll probably have figured out what I'm doing by this point. Some of you will probably even agree with me. Not a smaller eraser. Today's Spotify that I'm listening to while doing all this is a Halloween one. Hello, John. You have joined Post Context. Don't like that at all. Hello, Jeremy. Not really. I wouldn't say you've missed anything. No. Oh God, that's awful. What am I doing there? I'm erasing that whole lot, that's what. Right. That looks better from a distance than it does close up. That's good, because up close it looks bloody awful. What's that doing? Nothing good. Anyway, let's go to the main feature, shall we? So, John, you missed context. What that context is this. Also, you will see over there the words brand missile. So... let's get on this nonsense, shall we? It is not a horse, John. Don't worry. Don't worry, it's not a horse. Sort of roughing in shape here. It's not something you can be very precise with the shape of, to be fair. It should be more obvious where I'm going now, I hope. It is a problem that I haven't done caricature in a very long time, and caricature is still far easier than drawing a realistically recognisable face. Um, I used to do caricature art when I was in school. But not since then. And because it was things that I drew while I was in school, it wasn't very good. Like, I wasn't good at art. Hmm, I think that needs to be more. There we go. Your current feeling was not having it horse was a mistake. I would love to know how you would put horse into how I'm interpreting this prompt, John. Would I love to know that? I don't think I'd love to know that. Don't tell me that. Um, I'd say keep that between yourself and whatever professionals you deem appropriate. See if they agree as to whether or not it's appropriate. You've got a point. Needs more forehead. Make it a unicorn forehead. No, I am not unicorning this. This isn't a horse. Some things aren't horses. It's what I was saying earlier about the Spotify that I'm listening to at the moment. It is the Spook playlist put together largely by Joshua. And as a result, is mostly songs with words, which does introduce the risk of me starting singing along. And avoiding that risk was why I chose the instrumental folk playlist yesterday, just so that I was just listening to just music. I'm going to get rid of that bit. Caricature is harder than I remembered it being. I think. Oh, that actually makes a surprising difference, just raising the bottom eyelids regarding recognizability. I can hear Jen typing behind me, which is surprisingly worrying. We can only see her head and hands. It could still be pretty much anything further down. I mean, concerning the subject matter, there are probably several people you could ask about that. Jeremy's got it. The fact that it has taken... How long have I been drawing this face? And one person has now gone, oh, that's what's happening here. I really am out of practice with caricature. That eye is dead wonky. Your oh god was in recognition, was it, Rach? Hi, Neris. For those who are still catching up, this is intended to be a representation of the thinking man's thoughtless man, Russell Brand. Come with us and you will see this town of Halloween. Pumpkin scream at the dead of night. This is what I was talking about when I said there was a risk of me joining in. Ooh, Neris, did you join too recently to see the context behind what is happening here, let alone to whom it's happening? Does that clarify anything? I hope not. I'm going to make that hand a bit bigger, because it's all very well it being caricature proportions, but it was still annoyingly disproportionate to me. Also, I do have to apologise that this is pretty much what to expect. Hmm. What the hell is this I'm listening to now? Ah. Right. I am now going to go to an inking layer. How thick's that pen? Way too thick! No! How thick's that pen? That'll do. So, the clarification for the missile bit, missile, boom, cannon. The other half is lost if I have not done a good enough job of conveying the face of Russell Brand. Oh, that pen is actually too thin. Ooh. Okay, that's slightly uncircular. Good to know. What's turnip pen? That's tapered pen, not turnip pen. That's turnip pen. There we go. Turnip pen is circular. And it will do. That's a bit too thick. I'm not doing well at being decisive here, am I? There we go. Oh, I hate the link. Not link. What's it called? Inking bit. I was trying to think. It started from the L. Where does the L go from there? It doesn't. That's the bit I went wrong. Right at the start. I have to apologise, but when you joined the stream, you were probably aware that you were watching someone who hasn't drawn or streamed in a year stream drawing. This is pretty much best case scenario. This has not been a year for keeping up to scratch with skills such as talking to people. or things like that. Or drawing circles. I don't want a circle anyway, do I? I want an ellipse because it's an angle. Not that much of an angle, though. God damn it, there's an ellipse tool in Clip Studio Paint. And it will probably take me less time to figure out how to use it than it took me to draw that sodding ellipse. Drawfee, the channel who inspired this, recently did an episode sponsored by Clip Studio Paint, the program I'm using, as a sponsored deal, and clips from that video and from behind the scenes footage of the making of it are in an advert for Clip Studio Paint, which you can see on their website. You may have seen on YouTube recently, if you did anything that made Google think you wanted drawing software. Like watch Drawfee. So it's weird getting an advert voiced by Drawfee before an episode of Drawfee. And they were doing such fancy stuff with it. And I'm watching it going, wow, I've been using this for 2 years and have no idea how you're doing what you're doing. Let's move that to the middle of that. No, move it to the middle of that. Then move the whole thing back to where it's supposed to be. Because that's easier than having done it right in the first place. You can't really feather with a pen, and I don't like that because I feather a lot. And doing long straight lines, well, long single movement lines, means you have to undo a lot more to undo anything. It's interesting how much delay there is on me seeing your messages. Not just in you sending them to me seeing them to you hearing the response from me seeing them, but I can hear Jen hit enter and then wait quite a while to find out what that enter was about. I mean, everything I'm hearing through the microphone's picking it up, and that's coming back into my ears. I have pretty much the room blocked out by headphones and music, but it's picking up Jen's keyboard occasionally. So you may be able to hear it. I'm not sure. OBS might be filtering that out. I know it's good at filtering out quite a bit of background noise. But you may also be able to hear when Jen hits enter, and then see when something that Jen said comes up here. She's E3141596C. Not that I hate regular shapes, but I think it's taken me longer to ink in an awful wheel than it took me just sketching Russell Brand's whole face. Don't tell him I called him irregular, he'd take it as a compliment. Jing, 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 jing. I've thought of putting intro music on these streams. Just so that... Just like, I go live a minute before I do anything. The last 2 days, I've gone live at 16:59. Now, I don't want copyright strikes on my videos. It doesn't really make any difference to anyone watching or to me. It just means that if you watch the VOD, you'll get ads. Which you won't hear because they're not monetized, because I don't do this for a living. You can tell. If I did this for a living, I'd be broke. I feel like I just went off on a tangent from what I was saying the sentence for. Oh yeah. Now, I did intro music when I was streaming Dragon Age. I'll probably use the same tune again when I go back to streaming Dragon Age. When Dragon Age 4 comes out next year after next, I'm not sure. In future. But possibly a different arrangement of it, because it's a tune I wrote years back called Eventually. Because I took so long naming it that I kept saying I'll get around to naming it eventually. So I did. But arranged into sort of appropriately generic fantasy incidental music type arrangement. So now I actually know the series, I might do a new arrangement that actually uses more particularly Dragon Age instrumentation, which is a bit harder because between games 2 and 3 they changed composer. But I do have recordings of tunes I've written on this channel, so feel free to go and have a look at them if this isn't holding your interest. I can understand that. I'm going to try putting in the rest of the barrel of the cannon, see if that helps me figure out where this bloody wheel's going. I hate wheels. Why did I give it wheels? Why did I draw it from an angle from which you could see both wheels? You know what? Regarding spokes on the wheels, I'm just going to do that. More cutouts than spokes. Oh! Jeremy, I think you've got the answer. Yes, you're absolutely right. Sorry, that was reality leaking in again. No, made the pencil too big. Reset. Oh, you've given me a get out of wheels free card for all future here, Jeremy. Yeah, I feel like it's oddly familiar in that kind of way too. Um, um, Likewise, can't think where canon with human legs will have come about. Okay, I'm not looking at a reference image for this. I'm just gonna bend over. Oh wow, no, that's just not an angle that a foot can do, is it? Um, oh no, that just about is. But you end up with a lot of that. Also, one thing that I do have to apologise for with the feet I draw is that I acknowledge that, like, beyond what they're attached to, they're not normal feet. My reference image that I use for feet is for ease of access, my feet. And I have what is medically apparently called Morton's toe, which is that my second toe is longer than my big toe. This is not the norm. I can't remember how unusual it is. I think it's more usual than this, but it's far more common for your big toe to be the longest. It's something like 20%, so it's not massively unusual. It's a lot more common than left-handedness, but it's genetic, which left-handedness I don't believe is. No, the angle on that is wrong. Okay. Welcome back, John. Oh, sorry, I need to turn the gain down on this microphone. So that went a bit clippy. Jeremy has suggested a solution to all my problems with drawing sodding wheels. I think you'll agree that it's an elegant solution to all my problems. Welcome back. I am ill-equipped to apologise for what I've done. As I don't think anything I've done in the last year would imply any sincerity in that apology. Yep, yeah, hard eraser on this layer, not that big. This was in danger of being a disappointingly normal drawing of Russell Brand being fired out of a cannon. But now the cannon's got legs. I'm really feeling it. I really feel like this idea's got legs now. Sorry, I've been going quite quiet there, leaving you with nothing to leaving you with nothing to witness but legs. The awkward thing with singing along with songs that are on this playlist is a lot of them are in an awkward key for me that I want to go down the octave, but I don't quite have the range to do that anymore. So at the moment, it's just gone from Corpse Bride to Show of Hands. It's eclectic. Corpse Bride, all good for Halloween. Show of Hands, All Hallows Eve. It's a lovely song, thematic to the time of year. Oh, wow. These really are too small details to be using this pen for. But if I thin it, then it'll look quite weird here. We couldn't have that. It would somewhat, in fairness, draw attention to the cannon's feet. And if nothing else about this, I think you'll probably agree with me that that's not something we want to be doing. If only I could draw hooves. No, John! Hooves are not a thing. I refuse to acknowledge hooves. Hooves are the shoes ungulates wear to hide the truth. '. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I think that reveals the implication that, sorry, avoids the implications of it being Russell Brand's legs. Because that would be upsetting. I think this. I think Jeremy's found an excellent precedent for me to work to here, which is if I can't draw something, just draw legs instead. And I wouldn't be surprised if that comes in very useful in the rest of the month. I mean, to be fair, I've not quite drawn Russell Brand's face. Could draw a leg instead. Wouldn't really make sense. He doesn't have that recognisable legs. I'm assuming. Oh, grief, we're halfway through time already. Um, I think I've essentially come in here with way too thick a pen, and I'm now suffering that mistake for the rest of the drawing. When you zoom in, this pen really is thick. I am just going to have to shrink this pen down. I can do the rest of the drawing in a thinner pen. Oh, yeah, that's what I should have been doing all along. I thickened it up to draw the bloody wheels, didn't I? Not recognisably brand at all yet. What about when we put in that chin? Oops. Stop doing that. Do I think this creature lives in the canon? It's possible. Do you mean the one that's legs? That's getting more of it. And I think the eyebrows might sell it. One thing with this playlist is, hear a song start and go, yes, but whose version of Thriller is it? This time, it's the original. Nope. Not that at all. Why did it do that? I swear he used to be clean shaven and I could recognise him without a mustache, but I'm having a hard time making him recognisable without it. Am I imagining that? Hmm. Boo! Boo! Headcanon. John. I know what this needs. More forehead. Right. That'll do for that, I think. Staging the production of a Thomas-like tank engine before the final casing is applied. Wow. That's certainly a vision. Okay, that's broken thumb. Hmm. What was that self-satisfied pun expression I made earlier even about? I'm pretty sure I've not done anything this session to be proud of.
The idea with legs.
Ah, yes. Okey-dokey. I keep going quiet here. I'm not very good at this whole streaming business. But say, it's one of those things that I need to get back into the swing of, like drawing in general. I mean, given practice, I should learn to draw wheels. Or use the ellipse tool. That would also help matters. To be honest, I could probably do with using the ellipse tool. Here for the mouth of the cannon? What's the term? Someone knows artillery. Clarify whether this is a mouth or what. Yeah, that's the thing. That when I go quiet, this is all that you have to occupy your senses with for the stream. And I have a feeling that nothing I could say would be worse than that. Why am I on pencil suddenly? That helps a little. Make the eyes a little, well, this eye a little less wide. Yeah. And this is the other version of Thriller that's just come on. Or at least one other version of Thriller is in this playlist. This is the one that I added. It's Jonathan Young. I know this is Jonathan Coulton. Very different. Yes, Jonathan Young is excellent. Highly recommend. He does a lot of metal covers. He has several volumes of albums entitled I Didn't Write Any of This. But he does also have an album out this year that he did write. Called Starship Velociraptor. Orifice, that'll do. Yes, the canon Orifice. Yes, on both human legs and orifices. Jeremy is coming through as very helpful this stream. That's tangenting horribly. Outer mouth. Outer. Are you picturing a cannon as having pharyngeal jaws like a moray eel? It's like it when the fuse burns down, instead of a cannonball coming out, another mouth just going. Wah! No response, possibly. Oh, maybe. Yes. Typing the response. I am right here. Oh, good lord! I've been enjoying this for an hour and 20 now. It's not getting any better, is it? And Jeremy says, when the jars open wide and there's more jars inside, that's amore. Which is really hard to sing while listening to Thriller, by the way. Right. Let's start colouring this. Start by making this cannon grey. Oh, that's weird. That wasn't helpful of you at all. I'll just make this big then. Oh, don't be doing this. I went into the preferences earlier to try and figure out why it was doing this. Oh no, that's a different thing it's doing. That's it not acknowledging that I've let go of the resize this tool button, which is a keyboard button, but bound to the side of the tablet that I'm using. And I don't know what any of the controls on the tablet are as far as keyboard buttons are concerned. So I know I have shortcuts, for example, resize the tool I'm using, or move the canvas, or switch to an eraser for some reason. Or zoom out, zoom in. But I don't know what those keyboard shortcuts actually are. I just know that I have them. Points if you can work out what track I'm listening to now from that. Don't have any actual points to reward, but you have the clue that it's a Halloween playlist. Because it's Spooktober. And the other clue... This is where I can't fill, because sometimes I just don't draw the whole line. I'm honestly not sure why I ink, because my inking is less neat than most people's sketching. So it looks all fairy. I just realised I think everyone watching is also on Discord, where it shares what I'm listening to. So you could just have looked it up there. Although I'm now not, so you would get the wrong answer if you were to look now. YouTube does also tell me that most of you have left. Well, not most of you. None of you have left. But everyone else has left. Which is, to be honest, reasonable. Like, in your position, I can't say I wouldn't do the same. I don't know who is and isn't there beyond you two just having commented, so I'm assuming that the two people who are left are Rach and John. But YouTube tells me there are only two people. Hello. YouTube is apparently wrong about there only being two people because 3 people have commented. Since I said that. 4 people have commented since I said that. YouTube is exaggerating for dramatic effect. 5 people! Good lord, YouTube does not know what's going on, does it? Analytics are quite useless. Yeah, I have the tab open for streaming so that I can tell it when to start and end the stream. I can do that from OBS as well, but it also tells me things like how many people are watching, chat rate, playbacks, average watch time. I don't know what chat rate and average watch time really means. I think it's the average amount of time that people have put up with this nonsense. This is surprisingly long-winded. The rest... Okay, so 2 people are watching. That means everyone else, we can assume, is horses with legs, whose disgruntlement at these streams is their secret getting out. Seems a reasonable assumption, doesn't it? There is so much canon in this drawing. I know most people watching would rather the whole thing be declared non-canon. A bit. In the interest of time, because there's half an hour left and I've still got to do shading. What happens if I tell it to reference multiple layers in a bucket fill? That would have saved plenty of time. Okay. Let's... That would have saved so much time. It is easier to bucket fill now and erase for forgiveness later. I think this is also referencing the pencil layer that I can't see. Let's set that to behind. I still call it behind. The glove. As for where is the back half of his neck? Yeah, I just filled in a bit more there, which should help matters somewhat. John's glad his hair isn't legs. That's a thing to be careful about saying. Almost done. Worth saying. As opposed to, the opposite. Okay, this is coming together. Can't make everything legs, says Neris. You'd be amazed at the things that can be legs. Right, what have I forgotten? I don't think I've forgotten anything. So let's start. Oh! Let's start adding highlights. There was a screen. Okay. Hmm. I think this actually wants that for effect line I was struggling with earlier. No. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be doing what I wanted it to. That's good. I did completely forget to give this thing a fuse, though. Uh, Set you to background as well. Yeah. Okay, I can see a problem with what I've done here. In the lighting layer is on top of this fuse bob. Hmm. Hey, that forehead is no. Yeah. The problem with block shading is it's quite hard to know when to do what. Nah. Hmm. I think it'll make more sense with this. I've gone quiet again, haven't I? Is that better or worse than you knowing what I'm thinking? How does the cannon balance without arms? I think, essentially, if it finds itself tipping out forward, it just fires out a Russell Brand to sort of jolt itself backwards. This is a very situational method. Of course, relying on the presence of a Russell Brand. This is Jonathan Coulton, not Jonathan Young. the Russell Brands recharge or regrow. I mean, how else do you explain it, John? It's not a good situation. What function does the brand serve in this ecosystem? Artillery. I have to say, since getting into the world of 9 to 5 office work, Your Brains makes so much more sense as a song than it did before. Like, when I first heard it, I was in sixth form or something. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do recommend the song Your Brains and Jonathan Coulton in general. It's an email exchange between two colleagues, one of whom is a zombie who intends on eating the other. I hope you're not expecting more from me than that on it. That's the elevator pitch. For more info, see the song itself. Oh, I think that was the end of the playlist. That's interesting. Yeah, it was. I think this one is going to take me up to the half-hour mark, up to the 2-hour mark, because we are coming up to the we're coming up to 7. Whoa, what was that all about? No, no, thank you. Uh, I'm gone quiet again. Sorry, I'm concentrating. This now has a time limit on it. I mean, it doesn't really. I am not in a hurry today to finish at 7 on the dot. But it's good practice for the days when I am. What the? It thinks I've got... Right. I thought I had, shift held down. That was weird. Or possibly control. Right. That'll do. It's not far off pretty much what I was picturing when I saw this prompt. The difference being the, I'm sure you'll agree, vast improvement of human legs. Yeah. There's something of a sign of things to come. Hope you enjoyed it. And hope you'll be back for similar things later in the month. And see you around whenever I see you around. Oh, not Mondays, I should say. I don't know if it's on stream. Won't be streaming Mondays. I will instead be posting a photo of something that I've drawn in traditional media during the day because I won't be at a computer at any point, well, other than at work, during Mondays. Hope that makes sense. Bye.